I'm not gonna lie, I can hold a grudge. Lowest of keys. And I can hold an attitude. And like, alright. Okay. What up, y'all? Long time.
No see. Yeah, we suck, but we're good at the same time.
We missed you guys a lot. Well, I know I did. Did you miss them?
I missed y'all.
I missed y'all.
I was supposed to say grace right.
Oh, Josh made us some home cut fries. These deserve a zoom in. Y'all see that? He sauteed them and stuff. Made them from scratch. So, yeah, let's say our prayer before we get into things.
Lord, bless us food about to see for nourish our bodies so we can do better work for you in Christ Jesus' name. Pray, amen.
Amen. So, we are back with another Eat and Chill.
Back again.
Y'all love these.
Yeah.
We got a lot of great feedback from these.
Feedback on these, so we're gonna
keep them going. And they're pretty easy to do, and they're dope because we get to, eat and chill. Got our slushies. You're gonna put yours on the edge.
Yeah.
I eat my fries with ranch. He eats his. Dang! You ain't leave no room for me. Bae, you know that's a lie.
Dang.
Cause you did that much. That's why I did that. All right. Anyway, what's our topic again?
Managing difficult conversations.
We both took that. We took that class together, didn't we? When we were in college. You start off because you came up with the topic.
Okay. So basically, what managing difficult conversations means, in a nutshell, we all have them. If that makes.
Some people avoid them.
Some people go out of their way to avoid them. That's not smart, because then it just creates a bigger problem, and then you're gonna have to have an even greater difficult conversation than the one that could have happened earlier. But we're basically just gonna give you guys some insight on how we deal with difficult conversations
in our relationship.
And this can sort of apply in different areas of your life as well.
Parents, siblings, best friends.
All that.
Yeah.
All that.
I personally feel like managing difficult conversations. Sorry, y'all, I'm trying to talk in my mouth full, but it's like those conversations that you'll sweep under the rug. Those are the difficult conversations. And I know I did a video a while back ago on my channel, my personal channel, about like how black families have a tendency to really do that, and how I'm starting to like realize, and it's starting to affect me the older I get. So like, I think it's really healthy and a good thing that me and Josh, one, took that class together, but we both just have that, I guess, paradigm to view life from now, because how else would we have ever learned the importance of it? We probably would have like later down the line as like old adults, but being this young and having the wisdom to know how to deal with like difficult conversations, I feel like really has benefited us personally in our relationship, helping to continue like progressing our other relationships outside of this and stuff.
That's very true. Yeah.
What is I'm trying to think where we can start with that. Give an example.
Yeah, we can give an example. Recently, we'll just give them the romantic one. So recently, Isi came to me. Bae came to me. It's so weird saying your name.
We be getting mad at each other when we say each other's names. Sometimes like, that is not my name to you.
But Bae came to me and basically laid it on the table that I wasn't being romantic enough. And that makes sense. Okay. If you don't know, now you know, nigga. But I have a job and I work very long hours. I work roughly from 8 to around 5:30.
This is gonna make me sound bad. The romantic thing has been an issue before the job.
Yeah.
Or the lack of romance.
Yeah, I struggle in that department because like I'll do it for a good spurt of 2 weeks and then think everything's good and then kind of forget. I'm a work in progress. I'm not perfect. But basically she came to me with the problem and she went about it really well. The way...
Did I?
Well, he kind of snuck it in there.
You think so?
I say you went about it well is because you snuck it in there really well.
You talking about the text?
No, it was before the text.
What are you talking about?
Well, leading up to the text. Okay. Well, long story short. Basically, when you bring a difficult conversation to somebody's door, you're supposed to come in a way that doesn't seem as aggressive. You know what I'm saying? Because the second you hit somebody with some aggressive stuff, boom, defense mode.
Yeah.
It just kicks in like automatically, so then the conversation has to defuse, or if that person's like combative by nature. I mean, a lot of people get defensive fast, especially if you attack their character.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to kind of ease your way into the situation, which is why I said she did good about easing her way into the situation. But
I feel like both of us are good with that when we have an issue with each other. When we're initially mad about it, we don't express those emotions until we've like calmed down and thought about it to ourselves. So like the example of him like kind of lacking romance or whatever, I've always felt like I kind of think in depth of why I feel this way. What does he do or what does he not do that makes me feel this way? Before it's just like, you don't do this, like it'll come off, you might end up saying the wrong thing or say something that you don't really mean, but you can't take back words that come out of your mouth. So I feel like we're both really good on trying to be cautious with our words with each other, but still keeping it real to get the problem solved.
And like, it's good that we kind of nip it in the butt, like within 48 hours. If it's anywhere after like 48 hours, it's kind of like a dead situation.
Now I will say though, our relationship used to be like that, and I feel like we should let them know that, because we haven't always had amazing communication. It hasn't always been easy to have difficult conversations with each other and stuff like that. It becomes much easier now. It's like I guess repetition. With repetition, it becomes better.
Now we don't argue all the time, but we get better at difficult conversations.
Because in the beginning, it was like that. Where like, I'm not gonna lie, I can hold a grudge, lowest of keys, and I can hold an attitude, and like. Alright, okay. This is a part of difficult conversation too, I feel like, owning up to your own shit.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'm swaying off topic real quick, but I saw this like meme or something, and somebody was like, you know how you get out of a toxic relationship or a toxic friendship or whatever, and like whoever you're getting out of it with, you're always like, they're the toxic person, that's why the relationship. They were like, sometimes you don't realize that you might be that toxic person. So I'm saying all that to say, with those difficult conversations, make sure that you're trying to work on a little bit of self-reflection too. I feel like that's what I've really tried to work on this year, out of all years, that I've gained the most maturity in terms of like my relationship and how I view myself. I never really thought I was perfect, but I feel like previous years, I think I kind of held the mentality like my shit don't stink as much as it kind of does. Like, I have an attitude problem, or I'm not good with forgiving, I lack patience, like stuff like that. I don't really look at both sides of a story when somebody makes me mad. It's just like, you made me mad, there's no reason at all, you deserve to be, it's like that. So yeah, but anyway, tying back to difficult conversations, in this scenario with the lack of romance and stuff, I feel like I played a part in it, but I feel like I played a part in it, or like my flaw in it was still based off your actions. So like stuff that you were like, well, you don't really do this, blah, blah, blah. It's because I wasn't receiving that from you. So I was like, okay. You know what I mean? Yeah, I used to be really bad too with conversations. I used to text you everything when I was mad. We might be in the same room, or he might be like down the hall, and I would just text him a long book of like me being mad. Every time
an issue was present.
Beginning of our relationship, like year one.
Our relationship, we would be in the same room, and I would get a text message, and it would be her. And I would be reading through it, like, kind of just looking over my shoulder, like, did she really just send this? Like, we're right here. But she didn't like expressing it. She wanted to get all her thoughts out in one concise.
'Cause you can delete and, like, switch around words and stuff. And I feel like maybe I was just a little bit scared in the beginning of our relationship, too, of, like, verbally saying the wrong thing. You might leave. Difficult conversations are not easy to have, especially face-to-face. That's why texting was just so much easier. For me, it made it easier for me not to have to see his face when I'm saying stuff that might be hurtful. I think that's what it was. And text messages might be a little bit easier to sugarcoat. You can add a couple words here and there. We're way past that point. Like I said, that was year one. That was like 3 years ago. But it does take a lot of like repetition and just, I feel like just biting the bullet. The only way to get past a hump is just to do it.
Yeah.
You just gotta do it. As uncomfortable as it is, and even sometimes with us, it's still like, I don't know if it's awkward, because I feel like we've been together long enough where they're not awkward anymore. But if you're like a fresh relationship, it might be a little awkward because you don't know how the other person is gonna react or like anything. But I feel like it's truly helped our relationship.
I think another big thing, before you go and have a difficult conversation, know what you're mad about. Because sometimes like you can have a million different emotions about a situation and be mad at like one little thing, But then, like, ask yourself why you're mad about that a couple more times. Because sometimes you might just diffuse the situation in your head, but the way it came out of their mouth, you just, like, you didn't like the way it sounded or something like that, and it could have rubbed you the wrong way. Yeah, understand why you're mad. I've talked myself out of being mad a couple of times. I'm like, why did I get upset about that? Probably because of the way she said it. I guess she didn't say it to hurt my feelings. I guess she was just caught up in her emotions too. You know what, maybe I'm tripping. And I just walk away from it. So I'm like, it's not really worth it. But when there is a difficult conversation, understand what you want from the conversation and what the problem was. Just because
the deep-rooted problem.
Yeah.
What's the real thing you're arguing over, you're mad over?
Because you can get off on a tangent real quick when you come with these difficult conversations.
Be like, well, you did this to me 3 months ago,
and
so...
then it's a back and forth blame battle. So,
Yeah.
have a end goal in mind when you have that conversation. Because you don't want to walk away from it, having a conversation and just being like, okay, did we make any progress? Like, what did we learn from having a conversation? Because you want a change to come about. You don't want to just have a difficult conversation and then just be like, okay.
Ear out the other.
There it is. But yeah, you air it out with the intention that something will change either with yourself or with the significant other, or you can come to some sort of compromise. So yeah, always have a goal and always know what you want. And then address that early in the conversation. So tell them what you don't want. Tell them what you do want. Like, I don't want you to freak out. I don't want you to be mad at me, but I have something I need to tell you that's very crucial. Like, I hope that my aim for this conversation
doesn't upset you.
Yeah.
And by you doing that, it makes you kind of vulnerable.
Yeah.
And I feel like by you showing that vulnerability, it's like, I don't have to have my defenses up as much as it would be if you're just like, hey, I need to talk to you.
And then you just hit them between the eyes, like, boom, you're conceited.
If you're like, hey, I need to talk to you and I don't want you to take this the wrong way, and by no means am I trying to offend you or hurt your feelings, and then say what you gotta say, those are two different scenarios right there.
Yeah, you've kind of diffused the bomb before a bomb is even, like, created itself.
I will say too, though, these type of even difficult conversations, or the conversation we're having right now, takes mature people, though.
Yeah.
You can want to you can be ready to face a difficult conversation, but if the person on the opposite side of the conversation is not mature, that's different.
Both parties have to be ready for that kind of conversation. Because it depends on the kind of open-mindedness that the other person has, and then
he's way more open-minded than me.
Yeah.
Since me being with him, I'm learning to be more like that, but he definitely has that strong suit about himself where, like, whenever I've brought him a problem, he's never given me like the defense mode or like, well, no, you do this instead. Any serious conversations, I feel like you eat that real well. Yeah. And like he's very understanding and empathetic of my feelings, even if he doesn't 100% agree with me on it, and I really appreciate that. I don't feel like I tell you that enough. But he's like, our 3+ years of a relationship, he's never kind of like spit it back in my face or nothing like that. Like, you've taken everything and you've tried your best each conversation to like change whatever issue I had.
Only because like before the conversation I didn't have an issue. You're the one that had an issue. So like when you bring it to my table, that's not the time for me to create another issue.
People do that.
Yeah. They create, like, just for the sense that they want the table to be even. So like, this is for people who are getting a difficult conversation come away. You didn't see it coming, but when it comes your way, if you didn't have a problem before,
or a problem you just chose not to acknowledge,
not to acknowledge, then you let go a while back. That's not the time to bring that back to light, because you're accepting that energy from the past. You're getting mad about a situation you got over X amount of time ago, weeks, months, whatever. You have it, but like, don't try and create a problem just so now you both have a problem and now you can duke it out whose problem is more like crucial to the conversation. Because it's not about getting an apology out of the other person, it's more so getting to an understanding.
An understanding of each other. That's very true.
And sometimes, you know, you gotta bite the bullet. There's been times she's hit me with some stuff that's like straight facts, and I'm just like,
it hurts, don't it? Well, it don't hurt you as for me. I have learned, and you know this. It maybe this is a completely different eating show that we'll have to do, like forgiveness and acceptance. But it pains me to apologize, and it pains me to accept I'm wrong.
I still think it's a Virgo thing.
No, because my mom says she's like that. And my mom's an Aries. I think I just kind of got that trait from her. And it's crazy because my mom is like the most beautiful soul you ever meet, but everybody is flawed. And she told me she used to be exactly that way, and my dad like had to call her out on her stuff. So I appreciate men like my dad, excuse me, and men like Josh. Not this moment right now though. I don't appreciate this. Men like Josh that will call me out on my stuff. But it is pain, and you're gonna grab mine. Wow. It is painful for me to hear when I am wrong or I've done something wrong to someone. It like I'm extremely prideful. It hurts.
It's bad. It takes her.
It hurts.
Last time I timed it, it was like.
You shut up, Josh.
14 hours.
You're a liar. You're a liar. I've gotten way better, and you're really.
No, you slept it off.
Hella
That's
lying.
the crazy part about
You're
it. You slept it
lying.
off. You got mad. You went to sleep, woke up, and then came back to me. You was like, you know what? You were right.
Which one are you talking about? You talking about the pizza thing?
Yeah, that was
we
like.
We talked about that night, Negro.
You were still mad.
But it. Oh wait.
You were still mad, and you went to sleep, and then woke up, and then came back to me like the next day and was like, "You were right. Okay, I shouldn't have did that."
But there's stuff more recently where I've learned to apologize faster.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It depends on the caliber of the situation.
So okay, let's tell them about it. So. Josh decided to buy the family pizza. It was me, him, and my niece. And we got the Pizza Hut dinner box where you have 2 different options for pizza and then like wings, pasta in the middle, whatever you want, breadsticks. So he first asked me, I'm going to tell my side and you can tell yours. He asked me, what pizza do you want?
She wants
pepperoni.
I'm like, great. So now it is, that was her decision.
Can you let me explain
No. Because you're going to try and paint this picture out smooth for yourself.
No, I'm not.
No, but here we go. So that was hers, right? Then I asked her niece, Amaya, I said, what do you want on the other pizza? She said cheese. Instantaneously came out her mouth. No, no, we can't have cheese. And I'm like, wait.
No, I didn't say no. I said, like, no.
I don't want cheese. I was like, wait, but you got pepperoni coming your way, you know what I'm saying? Like, pepperoni was there. And so, like, if she wants cheese, I mean, we just got to bite the bullet, you know? And now me, I'm Switzerland. So, like, I'll eat anything. And, like, she can have pepperoni, she can have cheese. I'll eat both happily.
Now, for my side, I know I sound selfish already. I told you I have stuff to work on. I am not doubting that. Or I'm not saying that. Okay, but my thing is, I knew I was going to probably eat from both pizzas. She could have picked anything but cheese.
That wasn't her decision.
It wasn't my decision. But in that moment, I was like, no. Like, no.
And she wasn't folding. And then finally, I was kind of like, babe, you know, it's kind of like your way or the highway around here sometimes. And then,
no, you said you've noticed lately.
Yeah,
it's your way or the highway.
It's kind of your way or the highway. It triggered, but see,
it did trigger.
You see how I just like hit her between the eyes with it?
He did.
I should have eased my way into that conversation. But
and my niece chimed in a little bit too,
so that didn't help. Too, so it kind of seemed like we were
attacking. I don't like being attacked.
She don't like being attacked.
I will either blow up on you or deuce.
And
I deuced them for the rest of the night.
Yeah, she walked like.
We were gonna watch a movie and everything.
We were gonna watch a movie. She took her pizza, went back to her room. I was like, dang. I ate the pizza on the couch. I'm confused.
Y'all weren't confused. They know what they did.
But we was like, how did it
get to that point?
Yeah, why and how did it get to that point?
I think, honestly, it's because it was true.
Yeah, that's
I think it pissed me off because it was true and I had no rebuttal to it.
The shoe fit and it hurt.
It did.
And I knew it kind of hurt. That's why I kind of told her. I was like, Maya, the thing is, we were right. And that's the problem.
You didn't tell her that. You didn't tell her that.
I kind of did. I was
you?
like, Maya, it kind of sucks, but we were right. And it's hard for her to accept that kind of stuff initially. Like, she gonna come around. But she low-key gotta eat it. And then she'll come back and understand. But like, yeah. With her, she's a delicate little flower. She's like the little Venus flytraps. Like if you touch the wrong spot, you get ate up.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But otherwise, it's a beautiful flower. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you, baby. But yes, that's something that I realized I really need to work on. I don't really compromise, and I feel like both him and my niece, they have siblings. Both of them. My niece has a sibling, and Josh has 3 other siblings. So they've been raised to learn those characteristics of having to share and compromise and stuff. Whereas I'm not an only child, but me and my brother are like 18 or 19 years apart. I think I mentioned this on here before. So we didn't grow up together. Like he was in college when I was a baby. So I never had to learn how to share or to compromise over stuff. And I wouldn't say I was spoiled. Like we weren't rich or nothing like that. But it's just, if I wanted pepperoni pizza that night, I would get it. There was no rebuttal from anybody else because I was just only so.
There was no other option.
Right. So
I call it only child syndrome, and she doesn't like it.
I've accepted it. I haven't. Yeah. I've realized
it's not even like her fault. It's just you were an only child, so you're
never taught. I didn't have to learn how to.
The fundamentals of getting hand-me-downs from your siblings is a lesson enough to learn that like. Not always gonna get your way. I had to compromise every time I wanted something. Yeah. Growing up. And I thought
the crazy thing is this summer that I feel like I learned that because I thought I was amazing at sharing and compromise, like with friends and stuff. Yeah. Or people I'm not living with.
But it's like with them, when you want to.
Yeah.
It's not with them like you have to. Like, yeah. You ain't got no choice but to share your stuff.
Right. And that's what I really, really learned this summer. So although that wasn't the best way for them to handle a difficult conversation like that with me, it was something that needed to be said. So that now I've checked myself like, okay, let me work on that.
Now, in a better situation, let's just say how it would happen in a correct situation. So a correct situation would be me kind of letting that situation slide. Maya still would have got the cheese pizza though. Let that slide, then come back later and be like, babe, let's sit down and talk for a second. I gotta talk to you about something. Then I'd be like, I don't want you to get defensive or jump at me, but what I do want you to do is come to an understanding of yourself just a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? And then we would sit down and I proceed each other and say, okay, look, I don't mean to put this in a very aggressive way, but you tend to be selfish in your decisions. And then of course,
and I can't lie, I won't say I wouldn't have got mad at that. Yeah. I'm still somebody who I get extremely defensive very fast when someone comes at my character, even if they might be right. It's so hard for me to accept in that moment. Like I said, that's something I'm working on. So I'm not gonna lie and say I would have been completely fine with you. Like that would be a lie. But I feel like it would have been an easier blow for you to have pulled me aside. My younger niece is not around and thinks she can confront me that way. You know what I mean? Like it was just it's 2 different scenarios. Both I might have ended up with an attitude, but I feel like one would have been a little bit less
of a heartbreaker. It wasn't like straight through the heart. It was kind of like I eased my way into the conversation, told her about the issue, and then you're supposed to really sandwich it. So once you hit her with the sauce, then you're like, but still, I think I'm not coming at your character. I think you're a great person. I think you're amazing. Still, I think you have a great heart. It's just at times.
But you hate when I sandwich stuff. You hate that.
Yeah, because you've done it so much now. I kind of like, I wish you would just compliment me and no sandwich included.
No bad comment.
No good, bad, good. I wish I would just get like let's have a great conversation, good. And then just leave it. Like, that's it. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like I've been trying to do that.
Yeah, and you've been doing better. I'm just saying in the past, that's why I started to get annoyed with it. Because, like, every time I heard a compliment coming, I'm like, where's the butt? Where's the butt?
Aww.
The butt's coming. And then I knew a difficult conversation was coming. Like, I missed something. I know I did. What's today's date?
Stop! You do the most. Okay, but yeah, those were like relationship difficult conversations, I feel like. But those were just, I feel like those were dang near almost like surface level difficult conversation where it's not like daggers to the heart. But obviously with relationships, there's so much that can happen, and especially in a long-term relationship, and so many like topics I feel like just people don't talk about, like sex, or maybe having issues with somebody's family member or your friends, or you're having an issue with my friends. Like there's just so many difficult conversations that can really make or break a relationship. Like, and that's what I mean. That's why I kind of feel like the your way or highway conversation we had was kind of like surface level, because you kind of came in my character. It kind of hurt, but I could get over it. It wouldn't make me break up with you. But there's a lot of other conversations that are a little bit harder to have that I feel like it's essential for you to learn how to do that with your significant other in order to make you guys' relationship last. And I think also with that comes like good communication outside of the difficult conversation. If you guys have good communication, I feel like our friendship too is what has really helped us like sustain a good relationship and a healthy relationship, and our communication, especially when it comes to difficult conversations. We didn't have good communication, just flat out just good communication, then those difficult conversations would be even harder. You know what I mean? Did that make sense? I don't know how else I would word that. But if you guys can't just talk on no like regular chill level, there's no issues with each other, there's no beef, just talk, then it's gonna be a lot more difficult to have a difficult conversation with each other. So just ease your way into those type of conversations. They're not easy, but they are definitely beneficial, I feel like.
Oh yeah.
Definitely beneficial. And I feel like it'll end up making it easier for you to have like conversations in the workplace or at school or like business meetings. I feel like they can carry over into a lot of other stuff. But
if you can have a meeting like this with your significant other,
it gives you confidence too.
Because you actually like, I don't know about work, but like you really value your opinion of your significant other. Whereas like with a coworker, it's like you kind of value their opinion,
but you don't care as much.
You don't care as much, so it's a little easier to have that difficult conversation and understand that, like, you know, if something does fall out,
I'll be okay.
I'll be alright.
If I can talk like this with my significant other, then I can talk like this with anybody, pretty much. Not the same like category or conversation, but just taking that leap. I feel like that's a really big confidence leap.
Yeah.
To face confront somebody on some stuff that affects you.
Being able to like
or
tell them
bothers
they
you.
got the booger in their nose.
Yeah, something as simple as that. Or you have bad body odor.
Yeah.
Some people like be hella close with their friends and don't tell them, and I'm like, that's a difficult conversation. But if you don't say nothing, then who? You know what I mean?
You know, they're
like,
just gonna be living like that.
It's difficult because it's awkward. And you don't, it's uncomfortable, and you don't want to make somebody feel bad,
hurt
but
somebody's feelings. But like, if you don't tell them and they find out, they're probably gonna be more upset. You know what I'm saying? That you didn't say anything. That would be more hurtful to me if I knew like all my friends been around me, and then like some random strangers like, yeah, you smell terrible. Like all my homies just let me go out here like this.
And like I don't know if I've ever mentioned it on here, but I have like really weak enamel in my teeth, so I have like 13 or something cavities, to be honest. But I guess I had some I hadn't been to the dentist in like years, and it was like a year or so ago that Josh was like, babe, your breath kind of stinks. And he knows like I'm a clean and hygienic person. I brush my teeth, so he was like, it kind of worries me that it's like that. And thankfully I ended up going like making a dentist appointment shortly after that conversation, and we ended up finding out like the decay was getting so bad it could have like spread to my brain and caused like a lot of bad shit. So I'm saying all that to say that was a difficult conversation for him to have with me, with his girlfriend, knowing it's a possibility I'll be sensitive about it, or it might hurt my feelings, or I'll be self-conscious. But it was necessary because it damn near probably saved my life, to be honest. So difficult conversations can be very difficult to have, but very beneficial at the end of the day, and it strengthens your union with whoever you're having it with. I feel like we could just keep going on and on about the topic, but I feel like we covered the board with what we mean by it.
The moral of the story is, if you have a difficult conversation, have the difficult conversation. Because
if you need to have one.
If you need to have one. Assess the issue, for starters. If there even is an issue. Find out if there was an issue. Assess the issue. Then assess what you would like to change.
What do you want to see come out of it?
If you have the conversation. Because if you don't see an outcome, then there's no point in having it. If you just want it to go the same, then you might as well just say nothing, because everything will be the same. But if you want to see a distinct change, then yes, you need to have the conversation. And have it. Don't be scared. Don't put it off. And you got to do it while you're fresh. Don't do it like 4 or 5 days later. You barely remember the situation at that point, because then at some point,
unless they write it down, writing down feelings and thoughts help too.
Yeah, but then you have to go back to
a bullet point.
The other person will be like, what did I even say, or what happened? Like, it's not fresh anymore. But if it's within 48 hours, it's like, okay, I remember what happened. We both were there. We both know what happened.
I feel like it could save a lot of relationships, friendships. Probably if some people would just have difficult conversations with their spouse, there'd probably be a less divorce rate. But that's a whole nother topic.
Yeah, and that's kind of having that difficult conversation before marriage. You know, because sometimes they don't have that conversation about like kids.
How you want to raise your kids? What religion?
What all
of
that
that
stuff.
They avoid those difficult conversations
until
when you move in
they
together.
Put a ring on it, and then now you have to, like, it's at the point where you absolutely have to have the conversation. And then you realize, oh, we don't agree on stuff.
Or how some people don't even know their significant other or spouse don't want to have kids at all. And by the time you're married, one person wants to have a kid, the other person doesn't want any at all.
Why didn't we talk about this?
That's a difficult conversation you need to have.
It's like, don't assume stuff either. Because, like, if you just assume that the other person like wants kids because you talk about them all the time, they could be in their head like, nah, I don't want kids, but I'll talk. Ask questions. Ask good questions, but ask tough questions at the same time. That also gets a good conversation going. If you can get the conversation going in one direction and kind of ease your way into it, that's a good way of having it. So have deep talks, you know. Don't be scared to have them. We have them all the time. You see, we still here kicking it. You know, she gets under my skin. I let her know. We get over it. She changes. She says sorry. It's like 2 days later, but she says it.
I like how you didn't add, you get under my skin, and
I get under her
It's just
skin.
all she did, just she that.
She get on me. I apologize immediately.
Yeah. But really hope you guys did enjoy this Eat and Chill. We're trying to make it consistent again. We want to do at least once a week, but the hope is 2 times a week or more. So we can get back in this. But hopefully you guys will for sure get a guarantee to see us once a week on here. And if you don't follow us on our Instagram, we're going to start being back consistent on posting pictures with each other on that too. So that'd be dope. We actually went on Instagram Live for the first time like a couple days ago. And people were like, this is new. It was really fun. That was fun to go on live with them. But yeah, comment additional like Eat and Chill topics you guys might want to hear. Or, yeah, we were trying to figure out, like, what are we going to talk about? What to hear us talk about for the following. And, yeah, you got anything else?
Just keep track of us because we finna start doing big boss play moves on our social media. So.
We got a lot going on, too. We about to see Beyonce this week. Then our besties are going to get married next month. And my birthday's next month.
It's about to be lit.
It's a lot of stuff going on. We're trying to plan a trip for the end of the year. That's like, when it gets cold. Like, we got a lot of stuff going on. So, y'all, glad to be back with my baby. And I guess that's it. Until next time, guys. Peace. Oh, see, it's been too long. Dang. Come on. Gotta get together.
3, 2, 1.
Peace.